Hello. Good morning, good evening. Thank you for joining me again today. I want to take you through a very simple, straightforward, three-step identity shift framework that I take all of my coaching clients through. Something that, is not an inexpensive investment that they make in order to, enlist my support with helping them effectively change their identity to align it with the kind of person they would like to become in order to achieve their goals, specifically within the realm of growing an impact-driven business, or stepping into their role as a leader and change maker that are working on building companies or projects or initiatives designed to make the world a better place. But even if that's not you, if you have specific goals in mind or a vision, it is that time of the year in January when people are writing out their goals and they're building their vision. Let me tell you that just doing that isn't enough. The identity piece absolutely needs to be considered because it ultimately influences how you show up and how likely you are to execute on that vision successfully. So I want to, implore you just to begin by writing down, if you have a pen on paper or a phone in front of you that you might be watching this on, or a laptop. If you don't, that's fine. Just make a mental note and just describe, in a few sentences, what is it that you'd like to achieve. Now, using the example of the clients that I work with, some of them, have big dreams of, growing their community to a specific amount of people, maybe from 100 to 1,000, maybe growing their revenue from 10,000 to 50,000 per month, or maybe it's, reaching a certain number of people online with their followers, whatever it might be. For you, maybe it's related to your health and well-being. Maybe it's related to your relationships. Be as specific as you possibly can, right, in terms of what you'd like to achieve. Let's say over the next year. So by this time next year, you have a specific goal in mind that you would like to say with absolute confidence, I've accomplished this, I've ticked it off, right? And I'll give you a few moments just to let whatever drops into your neural pathways and then make a mental note of it, being as specific as you possibly can. It might be that you have a specific income goal, maybe that you want to lift more in the gym, or find your ideal soulmate, or go for a promotion. Again, take the time to be specific about it. That should be enough time by now. And that really makes up the first step. It's being very crystal clear about what you'd like to achieve, being as specific as you possibly can, and really challenging and stretching you, right? This is not about going for what you think you can get. This is about going for what you really, really want, right? Because the truth is, too many of us have these dreams and these goals in mind, but then we give into these self-imposed limitations, and then the stories come in like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I don't have enough experience, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough time. Leave that to the side because that's not serving you. Simply focus on being as specific and direct as you can be with this goal that you really, really want, okay? The next step is actually taking inventory, right, of the thoughts, beliefs, habits, routines that have really gotten you to where you are so far. So if you just cast your mind back, perhaps over the last, we don't need to go too far back, but maybe over the last, 3 to 6 months, and just evaluate, what kind of thoughts have I been entertaining? Have I been entertaining thoughts of the good that I desire? Have I been focusing on what I want, or have I been focusing on the absence of what I want? There not being enough money, or there not being enough time, and just be as specific and honest with yourself as you possibly can. This is simply taking inventory of your thoughts, beliefs, and habits. Beliefs like there's not maybe a certain belief that you've identified that's holding yourself back is there's never enough time to get everything done, or I'm not good enough, or it's hard to it's hard to earn money, or it's hard to build relationships, or it's difficult to maintain a healthy physique. Whatever it is, just be as specific as you possibly can about all of these, thoughts, beliefs, habits, which haven't been serving you to date, right? Again, using the third piece, habits, for example, it could be staying up later than you should, or saying that you'll leave an event at a specific time but you don't, or perhaps engaging in unproductive vices, drugs, alcohol, shopping, spending, gambling. We all have our fair share of these, so be honest with yourself. There's no judgment here. Be as compassionate and honest as you possibly can, and just list down the thoughts, beliefs, and habits that haven't been serving you, that have gotten you to where you are to date. Now, once you've done that, go back to your vision and then think about, what kind of person would I need to become in order to grow my business to this amount of revenue, to lose 5 kilos, to attract my ideal soulmate, and really start to envisage and imagine the identity of this person. What kind of thoughts would they have? Would they have thoughts of the lack in their life, or would they have thoughts of gratitude? Would they believe that building relationships is really hard and messy, or would they believe that building relationships is easy? It's probably going to be the latter, right? And you can actually go and evaluate and study the lives and the identities of people who have achieved what you want to achieve, and actually conduct your own due diligence here, because what we're doing is really building the psychological blueprint of the person you need to become in order to achieve your goal. Think about their thoughts, think about their beliefs, think about their habits. How would they spend their day? Would they say that they do a task and then not get it done? Or would they be so self-disciplined that they always honor the promise that they make to themselves every day, right? Be, again, as specific as you possibly can be, identifying the thoughts that this person would have, the beliefs that they would have, and the habits that they engage in, and how they respond to difficult times. Do they respond with grace, with strength, with resilience, or do they experience a challenge or a setback in their life, in their business, in their career, and they let that affect them and derail them, right? So again, use your judgment, because what we're really doing here is cultivating this identity of the new version of you, and have some fun with it. Give it a name, right? Like the old version of myself, and this is related to self-image, which is the technology or the framework that I take my clients through, and I can explain more about that in future videos. But the old self-image that I had, was related to mainly how would I describe this? Just like impulsiveness. I would impulsively drink and take drugs. I would impulsively spend. I would impulsively, make decisions that I knew deep down weren't good for me, and yet I still made them. So that was impulsive Dave, right? And we can kind of give the old version identity that's not serving you, and then think about this new version, this new empowering identity and self-image that you've created, and give it a more uplifting, positive name. Maybe like King David, or Grateful David, or Queen Jenny, Powerful Penny, right? Whatever it is, have fun with it, and really get so specific at a granular level to be able to articulate this new empowering identity in a way in which you can already see them, see how they wake up, and see how they feel about themselves as they step into their day, and see how they navigate relationships, and see how they navigate setbacks, and see how their beliefs actually support them. Because if your goal is to 5x your business by the end of the year, then having a belief that money is hard to earn isn't congruent with you being able to make this goal a reality. Now, a belief that would be congruent and would be supportive of that is money is easy to earn. I provide a valuable service and I'm compensated extensively in exchange for the product or service that I provide, right? And so we really want to get into this habit of really starting to ingrain these new thoughts, these new beliefs, these new habits that are tied to your vision. And once you've done that, once you've written out the psychological blueprint of this person, make sure you do so in the first person, right? I am so grateful that I wake up each day at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and I feel energized and inspired. I move through my tasks with a sense of comfort and ease. I always end each day with a sense of accomplishment. It's easy for me to navigate and build relationships that support my personal and professional growth. I am so grateful that I get to live and work in such a fit, strong, and healthy body. You start to get the picture, right? It might feel like a lie when you first write it down as well. It might not feel true given where you currently are at, and that's often the case. So again, please be gentle and patient with yourself as you go through this exercise. And once you've done so, if you've written this out in the present tense, in first person, as though you already are this person, you need to now become it. So that statement that you've written out, which really shouldn't be longer than a paragraph, 10 to 15 lines at most, put it where you can see it every day. Change your phone screen background to it. Write it out and put it and stick it up on the wall next to where you work, or in the bathroom where you brush your teeth. Make sure you have it constantly bombarding your senses, because what you're really doing there is just a form of subconscious programming. You are constantly, repeatedly, persistently impressing this new idea and this new identity onto your subconscious, which you're really showing to it that this is a really important piece of information to focus on. The more that you expose yourself to a piece of information or material, the more that it starts to impress upon your subconscious mind and influence your behavior. Why? Because 96 to 98% of your results, perceptions, and behaviors are subconscious. So if you just write this down and then you forget about it, it's just in your conscious mind, right? You've consciously, intellectually, articulated this identity, but it hasn't been penetrated into your subconscious mind enough times for it to start influencing your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, right? So this final piece, which I guess is really a fourth step, is the process of programming this new identity into your subconscious so that you start showing up like this person. And when you just start focusing on showing up like this person and enjoying the process of just making 1% improvements each day. Maybe one day you wake up a little later than you said, but you're kind to yourself and you go back to your statement and you impress it upon your subconscious again. And then you look at yourself and you notice, hey, I'm actually going through my tasks and I'm ticking off these activities with a sense of comfort and ease, just like how I wrote down in my self-image statement. I'm getting better day by day. Keep on using this statement as an accountability partner, and notice that as you stay loyal to this new version of yourself that you've written down over the course of weeks and months, by the end of the year, your results will be different. I guarantee that. This has happened for all of my clients. It's just a matter of staying loyal and trusting this process. So please reach out if you have any questions. I hope that was valuable for you. You've absolutely got this, but just know writing down a goal, writing down a vision is only one part of the story. You also need to work on changing your identity, because that will influence whatever vision that you bring into reality. So lots of love. You're doing amazingly. I'm right there on the path with you. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Just because I share this and I teach this doesn't mean that I've quote unquote made it. I still have so many challenges that I deal with each and every day. But through this process, I've been able to move through life's challenges with a bit more grace, with a bit more strength and ease and equanimity. And I want that for you as well. So lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon.